Well, let's cross now to the Science Secretary, Michelle Donlan. Good morning to you, Ms Donlan. Very good to see you this morning. Just wanted to get your reaction to that breaking news that the Deputy Chief Whip, Chris Pincher, former, I should say now, Deputy Chief Whip, Chris Pincher, has resigned. GB News can reveal that he has written to Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, formally resigning as MP for Tamworth. What's your reaction to that news this morning?
Oh, obviously, like you, I'm only just hearing it, but we, of course, want to ensure that every constituent across the country gets the very best service from their members of Parliament. This has been a big distraction in terms of British politics, this story, throughout the whole period, hasn't it? I'm sure we can all agree on that. And the things that took place in regards to this individual were certainly not acceptable by any member of Parliament, and I don't condone them whatsoever.
Does the Conservative Party have a problem with sexual misconduct?
Absolutely not. This is not a party political issue, and nor should it be an issue in any workplace. You wouldn't expect, if you worked in any place, to experience these types of things, and that's important that we have a process in place to deal with them, and we also set the tone for the rest of society and lead by example. But my party certainly does not have a problem, and these are isolated but very, very awful incidents that we should not ever expect to take place in the mother of parliaments.
We need to ask you about Daniel Khalif, the terror suspect who has escaped jail under a lorry. It's the plot of a film, it would sound like, but unfortunately it is real life. Details coming out that he was initially held at Belmarsh Prison, which is the most secure, considered to be the most secure in the country. He was transferred to Wandsworth, which is notoriously over capacity and understaffed. Why did that happen?
Well, there needs to be two things need to happen, which are taking place. Firstly, the top priority is finding this individual and putting him back into prison. The second is an investigation into exactly what went on here. Why was this ever even a possibility, let alone enabling him to escape? And I know that the Justice Secretary, who I spoke to about this yesterday, was hot on this and made sure that we had an investigation straight away that was launched, and we'll get some of these answers. We all want these answers to these very big questions.
Sure.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I said, are our prisons secure? Because if you can have terror suspects being moved to Category B prisons from Category A prisons, being allowed to work in a kitchen with knives, where doors are opening, where they're receiving deliveries, people will be asking this morning, are our prisons secure?
So I think you raised some good questions about why was he allowed to work in the kitchen. All of these different things need to be looked at in that investigation. I don't want to preempt that. We need those facts. We need the mitigations put in place to ensure this never happens again. The Justice Secretary has been very clear on that. What I want to reassure the public on is this is an isolated incident. It is very, very rare for prisoners to escape. That's not to say it's okay. It is absolutely not okay. But I do want to reassure people that this is an isolated incident. In terms of the prison estate itself, it's undergoing at the moment a programme to expand capacity and to upgrade it. We're also increasing the number of prison officers on the ground in these prisons. We've increased it by 20% in the last year. So we are tackling some of these issues that you've just raised.
Secretary of State, we can now bring you on to your brief, which is science, which will be very, very interesting. And we were running this news story today that the UK is to return to the European Union's Horizon Research Programme. I'd love you to outline to us what that exactly means. It's like we've paid a membership to be part of a club, it appears. What does this club do?
Yeah, good question, Eamon. So this is basically the largest research collaboration programme in the entire world. It's not just EU member states that are members, it's countries like Israel and New Zealand and now us. We used to be members when we were part of the EU. We've been trying to associate. It was in that TCA a few years ago. Now we've managed to get a really good deal, and a good deal not just for scientists and researchers, but also the taxpayer. What it will enable our scientific community and businesses to do is access fantastic world-class facilities and also work with some of the brightest and best across the globe to tackle things like drug discovery, addressing cures for cancer, working on climate change, some of the biggest issues that face us today. In fact, a staggering figure is that 2/3 of the Horizon research projects actually result in groundbreaking discoveries. Now that's staggering. That's certainly something we want to be part of. It's something that's going to then produce more jobs here in the UK as well. It's been welcomed by businesses like Rolls-Royce and small businesses as well. And fundamentally what's important is the deal we've got is not just the deal that was originally on offer. We've managed to negotiate, working with the EU, a deal that will actually deliver for the taxpayer. So for instance, we're not paying for the years that we weren't members. Also, we have a clawback mechanism, so if there was a scenario where we weren't getting as much out of it as we were putting in, that would be automatically triggered. And this also provides certainty to our researchers and our scientists and our businesses to allow them to flourish and to allow the business community to grow and to encourage more investment here in the UK.